Hello, in this video I'm going to share with you how to make rolled flowers using fabric. My name's Kathy. I'm with the Cricut with Your Fabric official group. If you'd care to come over and join us to see what we're up to over there with fabric and your Cricut, I invite you to join that group. Anyway, so today, like I said, I'm going to do some rolled flowers using fabric. This is my first time doing this. Just taking a stab at it to see how it turns out, and we'll find out together whether this works or not. What I did was I took fabric that coordinates these two, and then this one here is also double-sided. You could see the different fabric, and I cut 10-inch squares. I used a product like this Pellon 807, which is a fusible product like Heat and Bond that will make two pieces of fabric adhere together. I cut these into 10-inch squares also. I put them with my fabrics wrong side together, and I sandwiched this in between, and then I ironed this with my iron. I would not recommend doing this with an easy press, and the only reason I'm saying that is if you get some of this adhesive on the bottom of your easy press, it can become quite a mess. My iron has, over the years, gotten a lot of this stuck on the bottom. It can come off, but it's something I wouldn't recommend trying with your easy press. Anyway, so I cut this just about a 1/2 inch shorter, so I used 9.5 inch squares. That way, right out to the edge, it didn't peek out as much, but it still kind of leaked out a little bit because it melts and got on my iron. Anyway, I have placed this on a pink mat. I used my brayer to make sure that the fabric is well adhered to my mat. Just like that, rolled it all over. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to my maker that I am going to cut out the image M3D7E1. Melody Carter used this image in her tutorial on Tuesday evening for the flowers that were in the mason jar vase. So you can find this image in her file that she shared, or you can search in the images in DS for this, and it is free for this whole week of Flower Power. So I enlarged the image from the size that Melody used. I enlarged it to 9.5 inches wide, and then that made it open the height to 8.835. So that is the size that I'm going to be cutting, and I'm using my rotary blade like I mentioned, and I have chosen the denim bonded as my fabric type. Now that is actually an Explore setting, so I had to edit my tools and change the tools to the rotary blade because that's what I wanted to use. But I just wanted to make sure I was getting enough pressure to cut through these two layers of cotton that are fused together. So I'm going to go cut these both, and I'll be right back. All right, I had to press it twice to recut it. So it actually did the whole cut twice, and it looks like that worked quite well. Always seems to be little areas where it doesn't completely cut, I've noticed. All right, so I'm going to pull this off this mat and try my second one and see how we go there. But so far, this is working quite well. As you can see, it's pulling off pretty much with the clean cut all the way through everywhere, doing twice. I had to cut it twice at that setting. All right, so now this fabric here, this time, this one has some glitter on it. So this is even a harder fabric to cut through. And this is actually heavier weight. So I'm going to see what it does on this one, and we'll be back. All right, so here's how it cut. This was with even 2 cuts. You can see it didn't do very well. This glitter really makes a very thick fabric. Plus it shifted on my mat. It was not a good experience at all. So it looks like we're down to 1. Started with 3 and we're down to 1. So let's just get this puppy rolling and see how this works. I have a hot glue gun right here. I have what I like to use in my limited experience with making rolled flowers is a hemostat. I happen to have this from my 40 plus years as a nurse, and it has actually come in very, very handy for crafting. So what I do is I take this and I pinch at my start. This has a locking mechanism on it. Now I need to decide what I want to roll in and what I want to roll out. So I'm going to do the green side in, and I'm just going to start gently rolling this towards me, trying to keep this bottom edge lining up down here. So I'm using my hemostats to roll around. Getting this guy going. You can put some dabs of glue along here if you like to help hold that a little bit for you while you're doing this. Now I'm going to release my hemostats and I'm going to pull them out because I don't need this anymore. And I'm just going to do this rolling now by hand, keeping my bottom as level as I can. Every once in a while I just give it a tap like you just saw me do to line everything up again. Keep going around and around and around. So what did work was using the 2 lightweight 100% cotton woven. That's what cut fine with the denim bonded, cutting using a rotary blade and doing a double cut on it. So that's what we're rolling here, is that flower. And I'm almost to the end. This is quite a long guy to roll up. See, I made my first paper flowers last night. So I'm just kind of playing with this to see if we could do these in fabric. And it actually looks like you can once you figure out your setting and use materials that can be cut, because this is double thickness. Not the usual way of doing products with a double-sided adhesive. Usually you're just cutting with the adhesive on one piece of fabric and using that for appliques, but we're doing something, like I said, a little bit different here. This guy's coming round and round and round, almost to the end. It's where the round disc is here. You can see it ends in a round disc. Okay, so I've got this all rolled here at my end. I need to get another glue stick because I lost mine. I don't quite know where it went to. But let me get another one here to put in, because this guy is running almost out of goop. And I can't let my rose go because then it'll all come unraveled. Oh yes, the reality of crafting. Okay, here we go. So now I can start putting more glue on here. And I'm just going to put a lot of glue to hold this. Probably overkill, but like I said, I haven't done this before, so this is a learning experience for all of us. Okay, now that guy fit perfectly there at the bottom. Let me give it a turn, and we'll have a look at what this looks like. I know when you're doing with the paper, you can kind of bend this to make it, flare out a little bit. And So I'm kind of trying to do that with my fingers here. It doesn't work quite as much with the fabric as it did with the paper, but it's still flaring a little bit. Kind of forcing it to open up a little bit in here. All right, so there you can do it. It actually looks kind of cute. So if you want to make fabric rolled flowers, it definitely is a go, as long as you use a light to medium weight 2 fabrics, cotton wovens, at least with that setting that I've tried here. I am probably going to give this a couple more goes to see what we can come up with some other settings. And I'll try it again to see if I can get it to cut on an Explorer. All right, there you go. That's it. Looks pretty good. All right, so here's my second attempt at cutting this heavier glitter fabric, even though the backing is just a regular old lightweight cotton woven. The side here has the glitter on it, and it just caused all sorts of havoc with my first attempt. So now here's number 2 attempt. This time I put it on a green mat so it would stay put because it pulled up off of my pink mat. And I also changed my setting to the heavy denim, heavy fabric, and then it has a light denim. And I used the rotary blade again. And let's see how this went. Oh my gosh, perfect. So that is what you have to do for a little heavier type of fabric. Such as, even though it's both cotton woven, it's got that glitter on it, and it just made it too difficult at that other setting to cut through. But this cut through perfectly, and then the green mat really held it in place, and that is a perfect cut. So I am going to make one more flower after this, and we'll see how that looks. I'm just using the same pattern, nothing different or new, so I just put my hemostat on and I'm rolling away here till we get this all down. Put a dab of glue right there. And then I'm just going to hand roll this the rest of the way. So this is just the same as I did in the other flower, so you don't need to sit and watch me do that. I'll be back to show you the finished product. All right, so I cut another flower here. This one here, I used a different image. I decided I wanted to try, again, one that Melody used. It's hashtag M4733C. And I increased this one so the width was 9 inches, and I think the height shifted to 8.33. And again, I used that heavy fabric, like denim setting, for the maker and the rotary blade. And this time I cut this on a pink mat, and it worked perfectly fine. I think the issue with this particular one here is this glitter, that it just caused a little bit of trouble for the machine, but I got it to work. So now I'm going to roll this guy together. And this one's kind of fun. I made this one in the cardstock too. He's kind of spiky looking. I don't know what real flower this is supposed to be, but it's kind of fun. So you can see it there, what it's starting to look like. Anyway, it's pretty good that you can actually make these out of fabric. I have not had any success getting this to cut with the bonded fine point needle for the, the pink one, the fabric one on my maker. Can't figure out quite a setting to get this to work, because this is more than you do for appliques, because this is 2 layers of fabric with the adhesive fused in between, and that's different than you do for appliques. Appliques cut fine using single layer of fabric with the double-sided infusible bonded onto the one side. So I'm not quite sure what to say if you have an Explorer, but you can definitely do these with the Maker. And I'm almost there, getting to the end. Can't believe how quick these guys go together. I haven't done any of these really before. I did a couple with felt years ago, but never anything like this with fabric or with the cardstock like I tried yesterday. So now I'm just going to put my glue down here on my base. Get that guy on there. Let this sit. Now this guy kind of opened up when I did it in the cardstock, probably because I didn't use the glue gun, so I didn't have quite as much ink, or not ink, glue, excuse me, glue at the base, so it kind of opened up on its own, but I'm kind of trying to do that here with my fingers a little bit. Ooh, I like that guy. Again, like I said, I'm not sure what his real fabric, fabric, what the real flower is supposed to be, but it's very cute. Okay, so you definitely can do these, like I said, using the Maker and a double-sided adhesive in between two layers of a cotton woven cut perfectly on the heavy denim. Excuse me, not the heavy denim, the heavy fabric like denim setting, cut perfect. This one here with the glitter, I had to switch and put it on the green mat to hold it, just because it's got the glitter. All right, hope you enjoyed my video. Thanks for watching.